Before you watch this, make sure you watch part 1 and 2. Thank you, and let's get started. Alright, now that you know some useful tech and options, you need to know what exactly to do with them. This video is going to cover the 3 main phases that Smash players have come to develop over the years, and many more smaller things to keep in mind to play each phase as well as you can. These phases are called neutral, advantage, and disadvantage. When both players are on an equal footing and both players are trying to land their first attack to open up a combo, they're in the neutral phase. The neutral phase consists of many footsies and baits to open up their opponent. Approaching blindly with an attack is almost always the wrong choice to make. Against a good player, they will always dash out of the way from an attack and counterattack back. Spacing attacks just outside of your opponent's threat range is a good way to bait someone out for an attack. Once they take the bait, it's your time to come in with whatever you want. Approaching, however, is still a really good option. When you approach, your opponent is forced to back up into a corner, and if there's no space, they have to shield your attack. Here, you will need solid spacing to make the most of your offense. If you land an attack on a shield lazily, they will have an easy time grabbing you from their shield, or doing an aerial. This is why you need to space your attacks just outside of grab range, so counterattacking becomes more difficult. If you land an attack safely on shield, you can try to grab them if they decide to continue to shield, or you can do another attack to catch a jump or weaken their shield for a shield poke. If they decide to roll, you can punish it if you know it's coming, or run after them to continue your pressure. It's important to be creative with your pressure, or else it becomes too obvious on how to escape your pressure. Mix up with double jumps, cross-ups, empty hops, and retrieve. If you find yourself getting pressured, you have to know what options you have. Rolling can get you out of a bad spot, but if you do it too often, you can be punished. Jumping is often the best option, because you can full hop and reset neutral, or you can punish a badly placed aerial on your shield. It's also the quickest option you have at your disposal. In the end, neutral is about patience, and being smart about where you place yourself and your attacks. Neutral is considered the hardest to master, because you have to play against a real opponent to get good at it, and you can't just practice in training mode. Learning to adapt and space well is an extremely hard thing to do, but will make your gameplay 1,000 times better. Well, what if we win neutral? Land our first attack. This is where we transition into the advantage phase. Depending on what percent your opponent is at, you'll want to do different things. If they're at low percent, you'll want to go for combos to get damage before anything. Comboing is such a broad topic that it really depends on character and DI, but generally there are 2 types of combos: true combos and untrue combos. True combos are combos that will work no matter what DI they do and are inescapable. These combos are kind of restrictive and cap the amount of damage you can do, but are also the safest kind and are always a good option no matter what. Untrue combos are escapable with good DI, but if you read a jump or an air dodge, you can extend your combos further than ever. When comboing, a lot of people start with a true combo, then when it's over, you chase their retreat or defensive option in order to continue the combo. Very rarely will you ever see a 100% true 0 to death combo. Also, another thing to keep in mind is adapting to your opponent. To do this, you have to closely pay attention to their habits and keep note of when they do it. When you have your opponent downloaded, you can start to read them, which can result into high damage or a kill if it's a good enough read. An example of this, say, whenever you hit your opponent on the ground, they tech in place. If you know every time they will tech in place, you can do a strong hit in the spot you know they will tech. Reads like this are often risky, but can completely turn the game around. After they reach high enough percent, you'll want to knock them off going for a kill. When they live the hit and are found off the stage, you are now trying to edgeguard them. Edgeguarding is knocking your opponent off the stage repeatedly until it's impossible for them to come back. Off stage, every character is limited to only a couple of options. Jumping and using a recover move are what everybody has, but some characters have moves that allow them to stall in the air to trick up their timing. Edgeguarding in theory is flowchart for most of the cast. At its most simple, the plan should be hit them off, hit them once they jump, and hold ledge or land the final killing blow. Of course, it's never this simple, but every time you're gonna want to do a variation of this. Against most characters, once they lose their jump, they are so limited that they're practically instantly dead. This is why some people decide to keep their jump and use a recovery move first. If they're hit out of their recovery move, they're able to jump and get access to many more recovery options. You have to take notice all the time if they have their jump or not. If they still have it, you might want to stay close to the ledge to edge guard rather than jump out or use a projectile to force out the jump. There's so much variation in edge guarding, but it's simple as long as you react to each situation appropriately. So maybe instead of taking the jump immediately, you'll have to hit them off a couple more times. Maybe they're hit off stage so far without a jump that you can just hold ledge. Or maybe you have a good spike move so that you can skip most of the flowchart and just go for the spike immediately. It varies so much, especially from character to character and with percent, that it's confusing for new players to learn, but when you're experienced in most matchups, it's cake. The consensus is don't be afraid to jump off stage to attack. If you catch their jump or hit them far enough, they won't make it back. Doing nothing is always a worse option than edge guarding. Don't expect this to be easy. Everything comes with time. Okay, now that we've covered you getting the hit, what happens if your opponent gets the hit? Well, now you're in the disadvantage phase. What can you do to get out of it? Well, you have a couple of different options. DI is the most valuable. As you've heard in the previous video, it can help you escape combos and live. Another option you have is your double jump. Once you double jump, you can quickly escape an attempt at a combo, and you'll be free for a little bit. Once you're out of the combo, you still need to hit the ground. If you're hit in the air with no jump, your opponent can combo you for free, leaving you at a huge disadvantage. Don't just spam jump to get out of a combo, because if your opponent reads it and you are hit out of it, you are in for some trouble. Another option you have is spamming the attack button to do a combo breaker. If your opponent misses their true combo or goes for something untrue, you can hit them and gain advantage. However, much like many other things in this game, if they read it, you can get punished, so pick your places and mix up all these options. Now, what if you find yourself off stage? You only have your jump and recovery move to try to get back, so you have to use them wisely. Almost never immediately use your jump. If you do this, it lends your opponent a perfect opportunity to hit you right back off stage, but this time without a jump. Save your jump until you either see your opponent is trying to hit you so you can jump over them, or lastly, use it if there's no other way to get back to the ledge. Jump should always be your last option to use. If you can use a recovery, you should use it. Your jump is pretty much your last lifeline, so be careful. Also, when recovering, you should pretty much always go for the sweet spot to the ledge, because it allows you to avoid most attacks safely and you can get back to the stage. The only cases where this is a bad idea is when they're holding ledge or threatening to grab the ledge. Going for the ledge in this case will result in a ledge hog. Alright, so we covered everything I wanted to cover, and you're probably still confused or overwhelmed. When getting good at the game, it's most important to completely feel comfortable with the movement options you have, and just the game in general. Before you start to worry about something like neutral or punish game, just get comfortable with the game. There's no need to rush, just slowly get to learn it, and maybe make some new friends along the way that you can get better along with. Thanks for watching, I super hope you enjoyed, and consider subscribing to my channel, I'd appreciate it a lot. More tutorial and guide stuff will be coming in the future, so just wait for that. Peace out, and thanks for watching.